All right, what's up, y'all? This is what we're doing this, okay? Today is the 26th of November, 2025. It's sunny. We're down here at the lake. After this, I'll walk out on the end of this little pier and I'll show where I really am, and why things are just how they are in this video. Because today, yeah, it's the 26th of November, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of InTheImage Clothing Company. This is our main side, one of our fourths, okay? This is where we allow the human body to work. That's what we do, okay? We allow the body to work and we come at it through clothing. The only thing physically placed on our bodies, truly the only fix to human beings' physical problems, and sure, anything can happen. But the human body is just a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. As we say, as we show, as it is, okay? And there's only one way the human body could ever work. Okay, we have a center line. We have a sternum and a spine, and then the trachea and a nose and a jaw. These things are in the center of the body, and the body has to stay centered on Earth's gravity. The airplanes fly above the Earth, even though they're being pulled down with its gravity. The Earth has a center of gravity, okay? But the human body, it truly is, it's just a mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. There's only one way that anything can work, because bones just track in line and they connect to other bones through ligaments, and they have to mesh well together. There's cartilage between those joints, and they have to just not get worn out, or the body just doesn't work anymore, okay? There's no way you could possibly train this thing. The vessel that God gave us, designed in the image of himself, Jesus Christ, right? In the Image Clothing Company. Now you can see more of who we are if you didn't know previously. In the Image Clothing Company is because anything that clothes the human being designed in the image of God, it's got to work. The core stays active. The entire body can only ever work activated as a whole. It's all there. We can't drag around dead weight. No compensation can be had for anything not playing its role in the body. There's only one way the body could ever work, okay? Truly, physical therapists and personal trainers, sports coaches and chiropractors and everyone in between that's similar to that is trying to tell you how to train your body, if they are, right? They do that. They try to tell you how to get your body to do something. It's impossible. It's physically impossible to get a physical machine designed with only neutrals, like the wrist here, there's a neutral, like rotations, there's a neutral, and, just the entire body as a whole, there's just a neutral to everything. It's impossible to train it to do anything, but you have to know how it works, and you have to start at a baseline. You have to start where we show under In The Image Clothing Company. Clothing sits for everybody: man, woman, tall, short, skinny, fat, any age, any part of the earth, any time period to ever be. We're all just human beings, and we're all the same thing. And there's just this baseline neutral structure to everything. Look at my shoulders, right? The natural scapula position. A video here under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company. There's a neutral to all the motion the shoulders have. Keeping elbows at the natural waist, right? A video here under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company. The elbows are just connected to the body from the shoulder joint up here, and they just need to stay at our natural waist where our pants sit, okay? Look at my elbows here. Neutral to forward and back, neutral to up and down, neutral to too far out, versus, like pinching your body, I guess, but really just hanging straight down from the shoulder. We have to keep our elbows at our natural waist, okay? There's a neutral. There's just a neutral. There's just a neutral to everything in the body, okay? There is only one way the hands work. There is only one way the feet work. The feet only work barefooted, as far as, that's how we have to focus on them working when we place shoes on them. These are videos under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company here, okay? So, we talk about a lot of free modifications in clothing. Clothing's physically placed on us. Our bodies are physically on Earth, just placed there by God. Seriously, okay? Clothing has to stay centered, okay? Fit correct. This is not how button-ups would normally look, by the way. In the Image Clothing Company, anyway, in the Image Clothing Company button-ups, you notice 5 buttons. You start right at the top of the waistline of the pants, and then you end up here right above the collarbones. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this video's title is rotated clothing on Earth's gravity. Okay, we live in this right-handed world. We'll get into it, okay? But what I was saying is, yeah, clothing has to stay centered. It has to fit correct. Where we just discussed clothing sits for everybody, it's about the angles and the positioning and the sizing for the skeletal structure of the human body that only connects and operates the way that it does, okay? In addition to those two things, clothing needs to be made from 100% natural materials in all the ways that we can, because our bodies are only natural. The goal is natural on all four sides of In The Image Clothing Company, and natural, neutral, and normal are synonyms within the functioning of the human body, okay? There's always only natural until there's man-made things that decompose back into nature again. There's only natural. It's no choice, no opinion, no approach. It's the truth, right? God. Another name for God is the truth. The only thing there actually is, the thing that was there before us and will always be there after us, is just God, truly, right? The designer of everything before one of the things he designed, being human beings, came and then designed other things that often rotate. The body, okay? And we live in this right-handed world. So we've got muscles in the body, all musculature connecting to the center line. Feet are at our foundation and they grip arches inward, opposing the center line and keeping us vertical on Earth's gravity. And yeah, you know, we talk about a lot of things with shoes. In the Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique, just what we title the only way the feet are shaped, because the top of the foot is half of its function. From its neutral, there's pointing the toes, and that's the sole of the shoes, plantar flexion. But then there's lifting the toes, and that's dorsiflexion, which is the top of the foot where those laces are. There's only one way the top of the feet shape an arch that's gripped and working in a neutral that travels through the rest of the body. In the Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique. Okay, we talk about a lot of things with shoes, the importance of zero drop shoes, the term, just keeping our feet flat on the earth, heel to toe, right? No heels on the shoes, altering the entire body. Wow, that's one way to show it, but yeah. There you go, right? We talk about a lot of things. We have hundreds of videos as of today's date on the main side of In The Image Clothing Company alone, discussing a lot of this, you know, the anatomy of the human body in depth. And a lot of the time we just talk about the body by itself apart from clothing, but you can never address your body without addressing your clothing. If you're wearing clothing for just about all your life, your body is just placed physically in it, and it'll just do, you know, whatever your clothing does. And so we've got rotated clothing and Earth's gravity. And there's a center line to gravity, just like there's a center line to the body. And with those feet gripping arches inward, there's also musculature connecting from the outside of the shoulder to the center in the front at the sternum, this bone where the buttons sit, centered. But that's the whole thing. This design, it's not an In The Image Clothing Company button up that I'm wearing here, but that's the point. We have to keep clothing centered, and so I'll go over a lot in this video that's just rotating us. Rotated clothing on the human body with a centered line, you know, because not only the sternum in the front, but then there's the spine in the rear that musculature just connects from the outside of the shoulder into the center of on both sides of the body. So we've got a lot going on in the body, you know, rotations, levers, hinges, and things opposing each other. Opposition, because the human body only pulls. That's a video titled under the main side of In The Image Clothing Company here, but it's also just the case. Even though we can grab something and pull it closer to us, and then we can put our hand against something and push it farther away from us, it's still just a pull happening on both ends. Both ends. Talk about pull, right? Yeah. I'll wait for the airplane for as long as I wait for the airplane before I continue forth in this video, okay? There's an airport in this town here in Utah County, but we're based in St. George, Utah, as In The Image Clothing Company. I'm up here in Utah County right now. more central northern Utah. All right, it's much quieter now, okay? But yeah, muscles just pull two endpoints together, okay? So they pull to close a joint, but they also pull to extend a joint. The human body only pulls, and so locked, right? Vertical over Earth's center of gravity is how we have to be, because there's two sides to the body, okay? And now when we have rotated clothing placed onto our centered body on Earth's center of gravity, it damages our bodies, okay? Look, this is the thing, blunt, bold, raw, real, in the image clothing company. I mean, I could film any of these videos just inside of a house or inside of any building, or, you know, get a microphone that drowns out the surrounding sounds, but this is just life, and this is what we do, you know, we're just here. As we are, okay? So, it can be anything, you know, because we talk about shoelaces and drawstrings, and if we're tying a right-handed knot in a drawstring, just a rope around our waist, we put the left side over the right, it just twists our pelvis anterior or forward, and then left, and then that just twists our body more externally rotated and dropped and farther away from us on the right. You know, same with tying both feet or both shoes to the right. Well, there's two sides to the body, so we have to tie shoes evenly because there's just, you know, two sides opposing the center. So in the Image Clothing Company's shoelace technique, you know, that includes tying shoes as well, just evenly over toward the center line of the body, okay? Which I didn't even do till I was 24 years old. And then, you know, a little while after, I founded In the Image Clothing Company because I got, you know, understanding where it's really coming from. All these problems people have, you know, the physical pain and the tight, sore muscles and the inability to work and these quote, posture problems, unquote. There's no such thing as posture. It's just how would the human body stand vertical on Earth. I mean, your arms only hang down one way. They connect at the shoulder. Gravity's just going to pull them straight down. There's only one way the human body could ever work, truly. There's no claim here, no new breakthrough. This is just God's design of the human being we discuss here because we understand it properly under In the Image Clothing Company. Truly, it's nothing to do with us, and, you know, we try to keep all opinions we possibly could out of what we say because it's stuff like this, you know. We have In the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification. We talk about that all the time, you know, and rotated seams in clothing. Like these side seams that come down from the armpits, down the sides of our tops, from the armpits down the insides of our sleeves, the outsides of our pant legs, the inside of our pant legs, wherever they are in clothing, seams, vertically especially, well, anytime they're rotated ever, but for the sake of this video, right, rotated clothing, when clothing's just sitting on our bodies with gravity, look at this, gravity. Gravity. My shirt tail down here at the bottom is hanging on my body from clear up here at the very top of my shirt on my shoulders. Gravity's doing that. And gravity will just twist my body from what clothing is placed on me if the clothing is placed on me is rotated. It's harder for me to speak when my body's not centered, truly. The jaw, right? We put so much focus on the jaw under In the Image Clothing Company. There's only one way the human body could ever work. You know, we've got a video titled The Importance of Even Jaw Musculature, How Clothing Affects Speaking. Yeah, shoot, so many videos about the jaw. Eating and drinking with the left hand, or non-dominant, right? The importance of the corners of the mouth. So many things with the jaw. And more than that, just about the jaw specifically, under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here, because that's the point. You know, the jaw is the shoulder, okay? Directly, it connects to the shoulder. And, okay, yeah. The jaw is the ears. The ears essentially are the jaw. As we put the jaw, yeah, you know, we talk about the ears a lot. We talk about the whole body because it has to work as a whole. You can never address just part of your body. That's what I mean. You can't train the human being. You'll never get part of your body to do something the rest of your body isn't doing. I mean, seriously. No, it's a kinetic chain. It's all connected to everything else in it on Earth's gravity. Okay, and so rotated clothing, though, that's one of the big things that's causing people to do workouts nowadays. Nobody worked out in the past. Unless you were a sports person, you know, like a professional athlete. Nobody just ran for no reason until it became a cultural thing. And a lot of the reasons why these things happened is because clothing and our modern man-made world placed onto God's natural earth, as I say, right? All the things that just decompose back to nature, they weren't there until we made them. And a lot of them are so new. A lot of things like stretch and clothing are so new, just decades old as of today's date. And all muscles only pull, like I'm saying, like I'm showing, like your professional person who you want to listen to more than me maybe in times, right? Your anatomy expert will tell you the exact same thing. All muscles only pull, and so stretch goes the opposite direction of the only way that muscles could ever work, and it's now placed into clothing. And clothing is made out of materials that are stretchy, and it just wasn't, even decades ago from today's date, ever. They didn't exist. They're man-made. They're new materials. They weren't even a real thing. Still not. That's why they call them synthetic and artificial. I'll wait for the airplane for as long as I wait for the airplane. Okay. So yeah, it's harder to speak if your clothing is rotated. Literally, that wasn't me saying that just to like prove the point as I was saying exactly what was happening. No, it's harder to speak when your clothing rotates. As I bend here, with my feet just pointing straight forward, straight out those pinky toes, like the fingers of the hand, which is the pinky one that is straight forward from the neutral, okay? If I bend over here just straight, I mean, my body's very, very straight, okay? Look at this, watch my shirt, okay? Just standing here straight, watch. It rotates my whole body, okay? So in the Image Clothing Company button-ups, they sit in a location where it just works for the body, okay, and always will. Well, yeah, our intentions will be to take all the knowledge we have and understanding about the fact, undisputed, that there's only one way the human body could ever work, and then just, you know, we'll design clothing with that knowledge and understanding that we've got hundreds and hundreds and, you know, tens or thousands of hours plus, right, of videos of us discussing this. That's what'll go into our designs of clothing. The only thing we physically place on our bodies. Anything that clothes the human being is clothing, okay? And if it's rotated, well, now so is your whole entire body, okay? And it comes from anywhere. Okay, in the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification, we show it where we do, but it's also an episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. Where's the light? It's cloudy. We're just really living up to blunt, bold, raw, and real, okay? That's great. I'm just, you know, addressing it. I understand how these videos are. I really do. I love it. It's authentic. We have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things, okay? We're all human beings. The same thing, placed on the same earth, designed by the same God. You don't have to be religious, but we're on episode 179 as of today's date of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. We just give deep discussions on life as it is, right? We discuss God as he says that he is, but we're not perfect at doing that, and he's perfect. So, designed in the image of Jesus Christ, you don't have to care about clothing to be intentional about your clothing in a modern man-made world with things like rotated seams, for example, and just imbalances in all the ways that there are, right? You don't have to be religious to live on the same earth as everyone else who's here with you. And how did we get here? You know, in the Image Clothing Company podcast, this is what it is. It's just truth, right? Just life. To the best of how we can discuss that when we're not, you know, perfect. I mean, obviously. Listen to the noises going on around here. Holy cow. Does this guy realize sometimes it's kind of hard to hear him in the videos? I get it. I do. I truly do get it. You know, it's just as real as it is. That's what I say. It's as real as it gets. And what's as real as it gets truly is you're wasting your time. Trying to work your body out within imbalances at all in clothing, because it's physically placed onto your body that has a center line, has a center to rotations, it has a center to, you know, all the functions of it. But rotated clothing is one of those big things. You are absolutely wasting your time. Let's say you go to the gym and you're just in this shirt and it's like buttoned up, and now you're like bench pressing and your clothing's twisting your whole body. Well, first of all, the human body only pulls, and, you know, don't go farther away from yourself because, you know, don't go farther away from yourself than you need to. Keeping our bodies over Earth's gravity. Okay, a video under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company, we talk about just the only way arches can grip in our feet is if they're underneath our body, because they're supporting our body on Earth's vertical center of gravity. Okay, there's only one way the human body could ever work, and there's a lot of misconceptions nowadays because of things like this. Rotated clothing. That's one of the big things. Okay, it's a lot of big things. Often you'll hear me say, right? I've said it many times before today's date, right? So this is the big thing. And then like a few minutes go by in the video and I say it again. It's like, well, which one's the big thing? Well, we have to be very intentional, right? We have to know enough to be intentional in a world where otherwise, like I say, you don't have to care. These things are affecting you personally, deeply, for life. You know, we get into this chronic patterning and scar tissue that builds up in the body, trying to work around things like this. Usually what I say is oversized clothing. Okay. Ropes introduced to the body, shoelaces, drawstrings, even just like a ribbon around a dress, anything in clothing at all. Yeah, rotated clothing, you know, that's a big thing. Imbalances, things like In The Image Clothing Company's dreaded collar seam modification. We have to keep collars centered, okay? We do the same thing as allowing the body to work on another one of our fourths, In The Image Clothing Company's other fourth, titled In The Image Clothing Company Poodles. We let dogs stay natural. So keeping collars centered is a big thing for human beings and dogs. You know, we keep our collars centered because look at all the musculature and tendons opposing the center line of my neck, the spine, and the trachea. Well, and just anything else we could say is the center of the neck, but we're placing a collar around that. It has to stay centered. So we do that for dogs. We specialize in purebred standard poodles. We breed them, we register them properly, we advocate for being a good owner of dogs, and that comes from these things. We keep less dogs in shelters and more dogs at homes, and that comes from being a good owner of dogs. You know, we really get in depth with it. Yeah, collars, leashes, harnesses, similar things with human being clothing on InTheImageClothingCompany.com. But we just give information, a lot of free modifications as we do with human being clothing. You know, for anything we place on dogs, we talk about feeding and hydration for the dogs, just letting them stay natural in a modern man-made world, just like us human beings. And, you know, we have events. We do events as In The Image Clothing Company. One of them is poodle parade events. Bring your poodles, purebred of any size or mixed poodles of any size here to the state of Utah. Most of it will be around where we're based in St. George, Utah. But we'll span the state. You know, we'll head down to Arizona, over to Nevada, where and when we do, if, okay. But yeah, a lot of things to get people into nature as far as like activities, you know, just, we'll have a good time just hanging out with our dogs and us, and just, you know, in cool places like this. This is a big lake. This is Utah Lake. Like I say, you know, I'll show this behind me once I finish discussing what I am here about rotated clothing. So you can see this is, it's beautiful out here. It's November. It's cold in this part of Utah, more so than it is down where we're based in St. George. Okay, the very southern end of Utah. But there you go. Okay, so rotated clothing, it's rotating our whole bodies. Okay, because yeah, if you work out within, man, rotated clothing, you're actually permanently, you know, to a degree it's permanent. But yeah, ingraining an imbalance in your body, because every movement you make if your clothing rotates, right? Yikes. Oh, I don't mean to be showing my body. I'm sorry. It's silly because this is what I mean. We've got clothing that just does not fit us correct. And normally I can just have all the motion I do and my clothing fits me properly. That's a testament to what I'm showing here. I mean, yes, I get it. It's just buttoned up one more button than I would normally have it. But our bodies just rotate within something that's rotating or rotated placed onto them. So in the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification, normally that's where it is. It's things like the sleeve cuffs. Oh my, noisy, man. Things like the shirt tails. Things like the pant cuffs. And that could be shorts as well, right? But anywhere it is, buttons, man, they gotta be in the center. We just have musculature as insertions. These pectoral muscles connect from the shoulder, like I said earlier, you know, into the center. This is a bone here. The sternum, the center of the body in the front. The muscles connect to the bones of the body through tendons, okay? So the muscles just insert to these bones, and something like this, you know, if we have rotated clothing, and it's a button-up shirt, or anything like this, maybe a zip-up top, or anything that has something in the center of our bodies, and it's just not in the center of our bodies because it's rotating, okay, outside of the center of our bodies, well, we've just got these insertions of the musculature coming to a bone that doesn't move and is centered over Earth's gravity, okay, and inside of our own being, it's centered. And if we have just something sitting on one side of the bone where just one side of the body's musculature is inserting, and it's not sitting on the other side of that bone where the other side of the body's musculature is inserting, then it's changing the activation of the musculature. And now we've got a right-handed world manifesting itself, if you will, through a rotated button-up shirt. We do live in a right-handed world. You know, 85%, give or take, of human beings are right-handed. And that's a problem, because we have no say over the body's center line or Earth's gravity's centered pole. But what we do have a say over is how we design clothing, if we're the ones designing clothing. And as in the Image Clothing Company, we're the ones designing clothing in this case. You know, so that's what I mean. We'll do all that we can always. In every design, dog products, human being clothing, any product of any kind we ever put out, to have it be centered. Because there's two sides to the body. I mean, just picture using something with one hand all the time. And we do it. We use one hand for just about everything, just about all the time. And the hand is essentially the shoulder. And then the shoulder is the jaw, but the shoulder connects into the spine. And really the shoulder couldn't exist without the feet, or something below the shoulders at least. Maybe you have no feet, but, you know, supporting from there up on Earth's gravity. So really your hand's altered, now your entire body is as well, okay? Rotated clothing, airplane sounds, things we have in life that sometimes can cause problems. Oh, shoot. We have to have our clothing stay centered. That's one of the things, right? One of the three things I say, that's the biggest, really, three things to focus on. Staying centered, okay, that's what I'm saying here. And then fitting correct. Right? And being made from 100% natural materials is the third thing that I normally say when I can say, like, this is what we will always for sure at least have to be able to explain before any clothing ever could even be seen by you of In the Image Clothing Company's designs. You know, these three things for sure: staying centered, fitting correct, and being made from 100% natural materials. Well, one of those three things, and, you know, in all the ways we can with the 100% natural materials, there's certain things that, you know, just gets made out of other things sometimes, but it's about the intentionality and all the ways that we can be intentional. So one of these thirds is staying centered, and rotated clothing is not centered, you know, and we want clothing to stay centered because we have to physically stay centered or our bodies do not operate. That's what we do here. We allow the body to work. That's our slogan. It's about the human body, not about clothing. it would never be about clothing. We never have a clothing company if we didn't wear clothing in order to do what we really do, as in the Image Clothing Company. It could be in the image, address life in the way your body will naturally do it company, right? I mean, that's really where we sit and like lie with our focus. It's about the body's function. You know, because we talk about eating, sleeping, standing, walking, sitting, breathing, hydration, everything we do as a human being, and also for dogs as well. Our information applies to all dogs on letting dogs stay natural, other than anything that is just very specific to poodles, okay? So, yeah, man, I mean, rotated clothing on Earth's gravity. Because we talk about some of these things often. Shoelaces, drawstrings, okay? Yeah, when there's a center line to the body. And we talk about in the Image Clothing Company's rotated seam modification. Sure. But it can come in a lot of ways because, you know, in the Image Clothing Company's zipper modification, well, specifically in the Image Clothing Company's pant zipper modification, just having one side of your pant leg being closed off more than the other side, that will rotate your body. And that's essentially rotated clothing, even if it's not an actual rotation, but it's just a volume discrepancy on the inside of the pant leg from left to right. Okay? Like this, the buttons that don't sit centered, that's rotated clothing. But it's like, well, where's a rotation happening? I'm just taking two sides and putting them together. How is this a rotation? Well, it's because when it relaxes and sits, just being pulled down from really the top of your shoulders on Earth's gravity, if the clothing itself is just rotating, pulling any direction more left or right in a sense, right? Or front to back even in a way, than just straight vertical on Earth's center of gravity, then that's a rotation. Because the front of my clothing just coming to the right rotates my body, okay? That's what I'm saying about the pant zippers. In the Image Clothing Company pant zipper modification, a difference in volume of pant legs from right to left will cause our bodies to have a rotation that happens, you know, just more motion in one side versus the other. Now, some of our rotation is just lacked in one side versus the other, okay? This is what I mean is, it's kind of hard to know what's going on if you don't know the anatomy of the human body, because that's really what's happening is volume imbalances left to right inside of our clothing cause a rotation. Picture the rib cage. The rib cage expands and contracts in 360 degrees, just meaning all the way around. Every breath we take. And if it can't, and let's say it's just expanding more on one side than the other, well, our spine's in the center of the rib cage, and the spine has rotations. My hips aren't moving, but my shoulders are, because between them there's the spine that rotates. So even, yeah, just different sizes left to right in the room we have inside of our clothing will cause a rotated body, okay? Rotated clothing and Earth's gravity, it's coming from places that you know sometimes don't really seem like a rotation that's happening, but it will rotate the body. That's what I mean. You don't have to care, but we give the truth here. Nothing to do with us, but we just do under In the Image Clothing Company. The point with nothing to do with us is it's not like we're so great, praise us for how good we are at something. You know, the truth that we deliver is apart from us. You know, the truth is truth regardless of who's saying it. No one can decide truth. You know, I mean, what I mean in that, you know, description of saying it in this is nobody can decide there's a center to Earth's gravity or that there's a center to the human body. And sure, you can have a deformity, amputation, major surgery, birth defect, anything similar to this at all that, you know, sets you apart quite a bit or just a little bit. You're still on Earth's center of gravity, you know, and you've still got this universal human design that we all have to get as close as we can to, because It's not our design, it's God's. And so if it's been altered like through birth, or if it's been altered by something in our life, regardless, we have to do all that we can to get, you know, mechanically our bodies to just work truly, right? This is what I mean. Hear us correct when we say these kind of things. The only way the human body could ever work, truly, like all opinions aside, yeah, you know, there's only one way the human body could ever work. And it can't be rotated by the clothing placed on it. I mean, look, if I'm just standing here, right? If I put my fingers on my side seams of this button up, and I'm just gonna push them against my sides so I can't move them, right? Now look, this left one is you know, but in front of my pant side seam, and you know, kind of like between the pocket opening and the side seam of the pant. And then this right one over here is, well, like 3 or 4, maybe even, give or take, probably about 3 inches behind the side seam of my pant. And, you know, the pocket openings in front of that. Right, the side seams of my pants are right on the outsides of my hip bones. And that's great. They're nice and centered, okay, over Earth's gravity. But then my shirt side seams, now if I put my, this is awesome, I didn't know I was going to show it like this, you know, this is what you need for the visual to see what I'm saying, because people's button-up shirts, so commonly, at least, you know, and at this time period at least, fit similar to how this one is, as far as they're rotating their bodies. So look, my hands, I mean, I'm just here, right, just on Earth, put my hands right on the side seams of my pants, okay, and I'm pinching my button-up shirt tail so it can't move. So the side seam of my pants is at the side of my body, which is where we want it, right? And now look at the side seam of my top. This one's just, you know, right behind it now. And as I come over here, this one's, it's well, yeah, close to 4 inches back. Because look here, you know, now we're much closer. It's still not quite. Just hanging straight down with Earth's gravity. That's what I mean, is it's like it's rotating my whole body. It's placed on me, pulling my shoulders from down there at the bottom of the shirt tail, because it's connected up here at the top of the shoulders. It's all one piece, you know, it's just on me physically. This is what I mean. We look at things that are undisputed. That's why I can so confidently and boldly say, well, don't believe me. Don't believe in the Image Clothing Company with anything we ever say. It doesn't matter if you believe us or not. Truth is truth. It's apart from all of us. What I was really leading into that with, though, that's how I can so confidently say there is only one way the human body could ever work. And then you've got people telling you, train this, do that, try this, do that, and it's all different. And they tell you that this person has a body that works slightly different than this person. No, they don't. They don't. And I don't think that I know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about. We're on Earth's gravity. I mean, there's just a pull that has to just, you know, I mean, there's only one way the human body could ever work. There's bones that have to track in line, or the cartilage or cushioning between them wears down and your bones don't work. This is God's design, not ours. That's how I can say it so bold. It's out of my hands. It's not my claim. I'm speaking the truth if I'm speaking on things that are apart from me, that God decided. All right, so rotated clothing. The point is, you're going to have a rotation. Now, wearing this top, shout out to whoever made this top. It's terrible. I don't even mean to be mean, but I want to say it that real, you know, with the lightheartedness behind it, because it's damaging to the body for the rest of your life now, potentially. You're stuck in a patterning in your whole body because you've had scar tissue building up and adhering to bones, trying to hold on when the gravity that's always there and the center to your body that's always there is being, what word do we use? Opposed by the rotation of a clothing item we've placed on our bodies. And there's just, I mean, you can't oppose the two things that are outside of your control. Your body center line that has to remain. It's just bones, the spine and the sternum, if nothing else that we could discuss. And we discuss a lot more than that. We discuss the entire body. under In the Image Clothing Company. And then, yeah, Earth's gravity center line, right? And so you spend years within rotated clothing, decades, almost a lifetime, maybe a lifetime for a lot of people, and then it's too late. Truly. Again, truly. Truth. I mean, this is the truth. You have to have your clothing stay centered or your body is physically damaged and permanently. Unless you do things to get out of these chronic patternings that get built up. Because scar tissue will just build up and the muscles will just hold on to the bones through the fascia, right? It just connects to the bone and tries to support itself when it's not being able to stay centered on Earth's gravity. And then, you know, bone spurs get built up. And we talk about these things just where we do. And that's a lot of what we do. That's the point of the main side of In the Image Clothing Company, is allowing the body to work. We just have to do it through clothing. It's physically on us, you know, and it just can't be rotated. So don't let it. Here, I'm not cutting it. 1 second. Anyway, our bodies have to stay centered, fit correct, and be made from 100% natural materials. That's funny because yes, they do have to stay centered, and our body's fitting correct in a sense. This is awesome, by the way, this location here. Yeah, our body's fitting correct is them staying vertical over Earth's gravity, you know, and then they're made from 100% natural materials because we are only what we have eaten. That's the only way we grow, by the way, and we can only eat natural things or our bodies can't absorb them. It just, you know, actually damages our bodies to have these things be processed through them without them being able to extract any nutrients from what we eat. So yeah, same thing, right? The human body and our clothing has to both stay centered, fit correct, and be made from 100% natural materials. It's funny to word like that because it's the truth. The truth is a funny thing because it's just there regardless. Oh my good grief. It's not my intention to step into the lake and get wet. But here we are. This is Utah Lake, okay? Currently in Utah County. Like I said, it's a big lake. I mean, pretty big. We've got another lake here in Utah that's the Great Salt Lake, even bigger than this one. And it's salty, and this one's not. As far as I know, I don't think it's salty here. Very shallow lake though, so it gets pretty gross. It's just dirty, murky water normally. And yeah. Ow. That actually hurt. Anyway, here we are. Talking about rotated clothing because you have to. Be intentional about not having rotated clothing. So we give a lot of free modifications, okay? It's not like me just having a sales pitch like, well, since you can never have rotated clothing, you have to purchase our ridiculously priced products or whatever, you know. I'm not saying our products are necessarily ridiculously priced. I just mean it's not just a sales pitch. It's also, you know, check out our, you know, many hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or however many numbers of videos we have at whatever time you're checking us out as In the Image Clothing Company, and find a lot of free modifications that we give in clothing, you know, and how to allow your body to work, and then come to Poodle Parade events here in the state of Utah, United States of America, if you like to, but that's, you know, that's an optional thing. What's not optional though is not having rotated seams in your clothing if you can do anything about it. It's not an option. It's not a choice. There's only one way your body could ever work. That's slippery, man. There's been water on this. You know, you get like algae type green growth growing on these rocks, and they are slippery, you know. So anyway, I'll walk through here as I speak. Just kind of rock hop across these. So it's one of those things, you know, decades ago from today's date is when we started having this problem quite the way that we have it nowadays, at least. Okay, machine stitched clothing, you know, we started developing these robots that will stitch clothing, and then clothing will go down a conveyor belt, be rotated after its first stitch. And then the clothing's going the same direction, but so is the stitch, except they've twisted the clothing, and so now the stitches will rotate our bodies because they're going the same direction around the circumference of our body, rather than, you know, we have two sides to our bodies. So, you know, things have to actually be opposite on each side of the body to be centered, because there's two sides to the body, you know? And we don't want clothing to be having seams in it that's pinned flat in any direction. You know, we just want our clothing to have its seams be even, you know, just coming straight down with Earth's gravity. And so what'll happen is, if they're gonna pin a seam down at the end of it, they're either gonna pin it backward on both sides, or they're gonna pin it forward on both sides. Otherwise, if it's different from side to side, it's just rotated, okay? But we don't want any of those options. We just want even vertical on Earth's gravity, because our bodies have to be even and vertical on Earth's gravity. Can you see my feet? I feel like it'd be a good thing to film my feet. Just because this is what I mean. Allowing the body to work, this is a natural environment. This is just, you know, I mean, the side of the lake, even if human beings weren't here, besides the things that are, you know, chunks of concrete, there'd just be rocks on the side of the lake, you know, where the ducks are, and, you know, it's just natural. This is how we'd be, and our bodies have to work. I mean, to physically just operate. There's only one way they could. There's an animal in here. If this is birds, then it's not all that exciting, but I don't know what it is. Unless it's just the wind blowing these things. Anyway, yeah, there's only one way the human body could ever work. And because of that, the clothing we physically place on our body has to work for it. I mean, this is, you know, we've been over this, you know, well over a year from now back. You know, I founded In The Image Clothing Company. This is the point. But this is the point, right? It's those things that I could never say too much. There is only one way the human body could ever work, right? One of those things. Yeah, no opinion. No opinion at all. You couldn't possibly have one that mattered on it. Oh, just in general, we can't have opinions that matter. There's only truth. The truth is, we didn't design the body. So, I am kind of rambling. I mean, I'm saying good information, but it's, you know, documented in many places under In The Image Clothing Company content. But it's, you know, like I'm saying, not a bad thing to keep saying these things, and also just filming this is cool. I haven't been out here all that often lately anyway, so these shoes are a little bit narrow on my toes, so this isn't the most comfortable on the feet right now, but it's not all that bad, really. These shoes is what I mean. I've debated on keeping these shoes or not, and I still have them. I was going to donate them yesterday. Started to walk over to where I could donate them, and I turned around and came back and did some modifications to them, even more than what I had done, and they're fine. One of those times and places kind of shoes, you know? Anyway, yeek. Yeah. Rotated clothing. Just happens more now than it ever could have possibly in the past. A lot of it's because of materials, a lot of it's because of the way that clothing is made. And man, clothing is just so cheap nowadays. A lot of it, it's terrible. Made out of things that are entirely fake, replacing terrible material in our bodies. Often it's stretching, which is, again, right, opposing the only way that the muscles of the body work, which is contracting, right? All of them. And, you know, then Yeah. Got these rotated seams, man, often. And they just take away part of your body's rotations. If we've got a neutral to internal rotation versus external rotation, and you've got a rotation in your clothing, you're stuck in part of one of your rotations from the neutral. Okay, so this is what I mean, just like shielding the wind now. This is what I mean when I say it, and I say it, and I say it. And this is what I mean when I say there's no opinion to it. There is only one way the human body could ever work. I also say it. Clothing truly is the only fix to human beings' physical problems. Now you have some more context as to why. Because I also say, if you've got a problem with us, stick around. Okay? In the Image Clothing Company. If you've got a problem with us, stick around. Deeper context brings deeper understandings, and we just give deep context. Okay? We just talk about things. And a lot of times we say similar things quite a few times and maybe in slightly different ways, because then, yeah, even more context. Okay. That's the point, is to get people to understand this stuff. The point is to point people to God. You know, and that's the whole thing, is we understand things differently as human beings, even if that thing isn't different. You know, like we'll be looking at the exact same thing as just different people, and I'll see the same thing in a different way, right? I'll see the same thing in a different way that somebody else sees it, but the thing is the exact same. There's only truth. We can have our perceptions on the truth or our opinions on the truth, but the truth remains. There's no possible way to have an opinion unless there was something first there to have an opinion on. So that thing that was already there is the truth. You can have all your opinions you want by any means, but they don't change the truth. Like this. I'm trying to figure out, what is this sound? Are there animals in here? It's the same location that I was on the other side of over there. It's just these little things blowing in the wind. That's a good explanation of a gospel discussion, right? The gospel of Jesus Christ, the truth of all things. What's the true reason that sound is occurring? I had a perception and a perspective on that side of the truth. I came over here and I have a perception and a perspective on this side of the truth. Regardless, whatever's making that sound is still making that sound. And I can have an opinion over there of what I thought it was. Come over here having a different or a differing opinion on what I thought it was. Still is just what it is. Truth is truth. And the truth is, again, it's impossible to train the human body, to get it to do anything. You can get stronger in your only neutral positions. Okay? But that's just the truth. I don't care who's trying to claim what, who does what, in what way. I don't care. It's not my opinion. It's the truth. It's apart from me, brother. There's been human beings on the earth for however long there has. A very long time, since the first one. Adam and Eve. Yeah, there's only one way the human body could ever work. We just live in a world that's different than it's ever been. The world's always changing, and as time progresses and as generations come and go, as they do, right, things change. But the closer we get to the second coming of God, the more things change. The more things are worse and harder and more damaging and terrible for the human being. We call it the last days. Okay? We've never had the materials that we have nowadays. Even just decades ago, they didn't. We never had stretch-in clothing until just decades ago. We never had robotic machinery putting rotations in our clothing, man. The ways that we do nowadays until just decades ago from today's date. These things are new. We've never had clothing designs be shipped across the entire earth, so almost everybody across our entire earth is wearing just about the exact same design of clothing until just decades ago from today's date. You know, the internet. Just decades ago from today's date. This is what I mean. That was an animal, whatever that sound was. Almost certainly. Oh, but am I right? Am I wrong? Did I say something true, or did I have an opinion? That's what we really do as In The Image Clothing Company. It's kind of like us against ourselves a lot of the time, right? Our own worst enemy. An episode title of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. There's only truth, and we don't get to decide it, but we can get down to it. Anyway. This is the beauty of it. You can stand out here on this little thing by the lake, film a video on rotated clothing, and get into this deep gospel discussion in the same video. This is awesome. But we do have another one of our fours that I haven't mentioned yet in here. Just little birds. In the Image Clothing Company music, we do a lot with music. Sizing and setup of guitar gets shown to not alter the body. Things like the neutral wrist. Okay. Lyricism, rhythm and poetry, spoken word. Okay. Singing, off the top type stuff gets had over there on In The Image Clothing Company music. So we just do what we do, man. We're just here to be authentic. We're not here to make sales pitches and claims. We're here to just help. Look at this. Talk about the anatomy of the human body. Talk about the anatomy of this fish. Those are vertebrae of a fish. Yeah. So, Poodle Parade events will be fun. Any events that we do, man, just, you know, stuff like this, just getting people into environments like this where it's just beautiful and awesome. Stuff that you'd probably never be in otherwise if you're one of those people that just wouldn't. You know, it's like, wow, I see these people going on adventures like this. I don't know why they would do it, how to do it. You know, if you want to do it, you don't really know where to start or whatever. You know, a lot of what we do is just bringing people together, getting people back rooted to their self, you know? And I love it. I'm good with the camera. You know, I used to be a photographer. I've done a lot of videography as well. Just a time and a place for trying to make things better than they just are, you know? I'm addressing it because I get it. The camera is just kind of all over the place sometimes. Man, I'm just out here picking up fish vertebrae right now. Shoot. So, you know, living up Utah, that's what we do. We live up Utah, as in the Image Clothing Company. Because look, if you would. I mean, it's immaculate. Woo! Cat. I don't know if immaculate is the word to use. I think that's a word that you would use when something's like clean. Hey, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. I don't know where it went. There's a small cat. Kitty. Cat's got fish and mice, birds to eat out here. This is what I mean. You know, Poodle Parade events. That's one of the big things. I mean, that's just one of the events we do. That's just part of what we do, you know. But the poodles bleed over into all the other four sides of In The Image Clothing Company. Just dogs in general, you know, they're our companions. Those of us who own dogs. And cats are great too. I do love cats, but we just don't have a fourth of In The Image Clothing Company that's specifically about cats. A lot of our information on In The Image Clothing Company poodles applies to cats, actually. That's a point that I haven't really made, either at all or not that much. up until now. That's a point. Maybe we should probably start saying that more, because yeah, we're not gonna sell cat products, I don't think. I mean, don't take my word for that. That wasn't a definitive no, but I just mean it's the same thing as dogs. You know, cats are like mechanically, you know, the approach to, if we were to say, right, letting cats stay natural. But yeah, Poodle Parade events, it'll be just cool places like this, right? This is Utah. This is what I mean by living up Utah. This could be an exact location of one of the events that we do. Just meaning it'd be like me being here right now, except we send out, you know, information, a date and a time, and say this is what we're titling a Poodle Parade event. Come, you know, check in InTheImageClothingCompany.com for scheduling, and then just, you know, we've got however many people, however many dogs, and we're just out here having a good time and an adventure together. This is what it really is to be in the Image Clothing Company. A lot of little fish swimming out of here. When I say little fish, I mean like very small fish. All right, you just kind of disturb the area a little bit, and they swim out. Okay, pretty murky, gross water though. This is Utah Lake. It's just so shallow that stuff doesn't have anywhere to go. You know, it's like 15 feet, give or take, at its deepest. I mean, give or take, but yeah. But it's a big lake, you know, distance across wise. So I love this, you know, that's what I mean. We can make some like professionally structured by worldly standards video, or we could just be real with it. And then you get to see all this. There's birds all over in this, you know, vegetation. They're just kind of flying out as I walk by. So, you know what I love personally? I mean, this is, you know, beneficial to say. I'm not just giving some opinion for no reason. Check this out. Seriously. Without, you know, being too like hard on myself. Like I can't ever share an opinion. I want this to be as real as it is. But I do love to watch nature shows, right? Wildlife documentaries, right? But I was gonna say the word documentations, because that's what we do. A record-keeping people we discuss being, you know, as disciples of Jesus Christ, as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we do so much to just document. We date mark, you know, just about everything we do under In the Image Clothing Company. And I love it, you know, watching television shows about zoos and just people going out and doing things for the environment. You know, we do things for the environment, like Clean the Creek specific Poodle Parade events and similar things like this. Well, that's a good thing to show in this video, because this is what I mean. Let's say we're having a Clean the Creek Poodle Parade event. We go around with you know, things to contain the trash, and you've got trash. I'm like looking for it to show it in the video, but ideally I didn't find anything, you know, for the sake of keeping the earth clean, right? But trash, this is what I mean is, this is a lot of what we do. Yeah, trash, without trying to show branding. If I do, because it's trash, you know what I mean? I'm just showing it as it is. But Poodle Parade events where we do things like, you know, rid the rubbish, clean the creek, whatever it is like that, you know, we love the alliterations here. This is what I mean. I say that a lot of the time. This is what I mean. Because what I'm really doing is what I want people to see. I don't want you to have opinions on what you think I'm doing here. This was where the camera was, right? The tripod. I just want people to know, look at this trash, what we're really doing here. And we're here for the environment, the health of the earth, the health of human beings, and the health of dogs. Okay? And this is what we do. We do a lot. We do a lot, man. In the Image Clothing Company. I wasn't trying to sing it, but I was trying to find that seagull with the camera. But yeah, dude, Here you go. Okay. Information. Giving information. Just so much understanding. That's what we share, is just understandings about things that are just what they are, whether we're here. Because that's the point, you know, it's like, how would the earth naturally be? Let's let it be. How would the human body naturally be? Let's allow it to. How would the dogs naturally be? Let's let them. The trash. It's a lot of it, you know? So, anyway, beautiful. Today is the date that it is. It's the 26th of November, the day before Thanksgiving. It's an American holiday, okay? If you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know. So tomorrow we're gonna eat some food. Shoot. Shout out to the collaboration of people. Sometimes ends in fighting and war. That's crazy. How real do you want to get? Come hang out, man. I'm in this for life. Evan Strong as the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. As we continue, it'll be more apparent on what we really do here. I know our company name is kind of not all that clear as far as, you know, an explanation of what all we do, because, you know, the last two words are clothing company. But once you realize why, then you can kind of dive into who we really are and see, you know, a lot of the other things we do as well. So anyway, this is Lincoln Beach at the south end of Utah Lake. Maybe people want to just kind of come check this place out after seeing what it is through this video, right? There you go. So, documentations. Your life as a journal, an episode title of In The Image Clothing Company podcast, you know. Just document it. We're just here for the amount of time we're here. Let's just show what we did while we were here, so people know what it was like while we were. So people know what we did while we were. All right. Shoot. All right. Cool. But yeah, see, the other side of Utah Valley is over there. You know, it's a pretty darn big lake. I mean, yeah, this is only like the lower half of it too. It goes north a lot farther, because this is like the very far south side right over here, and it goes around this bend. It just, I mean, it goes up there. Pretty big lake. You can drive all the way around it too, you know, in a car, like on a paved road, you know. Man. Yeah, I mean, I can discuss all that I can discuss. I don't know what's really, you know, important to say in this video necessarily as far as that kind of stuff, but, you know, we live up Utah, brother. I love it here. Oh, shoot. Born and raised in Utah. As the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, I'm going to show you all that I show you about this beautiful state. And I'll see a lot that I haven't even seen yet. We're just going to dive into it, man. Oh, shoot. Makes me emotional in a really, really, really good way. What are all these little tiny things? Those are all bugs. That whole, like, strip of those dark-looking things, you can see them kind of, like, flying around. I don't know what they are for sure, but really little bugs just going all over the place. So, yeah. What's up, man? Yikes. In The Image Clothing Company, there's a boat. Kind of cool to see on the video. There's also an aeroplane. So I think there's a boat or something going on. Yeah. I'm not gonna film all that closely because I'm not trying to get people in the video that don't want to be necessarily. But just so you can see that there is a boat. There's stuff happening out here, you know? And the thing is, you won't be able to get to experience this quite the same way here once it's winter time. You know, just in a few weeks even. This could be entirely frozen over. And people are out here ice fishing. You know, they cut a hole in the ice and then fish through it. But you won't have a boat out here, you know, when it's frozen, unless it's stuck in the ice. So that's cool, man. Just Just, you know, it's just cool. It's just life. It's a cool thing, bro. Shoot. I've done so much videoing throughout my life, you know, just filmed so many things. But it was kind of always like, well, sure, but why? What am I going to do with all these clips of video? And what is really the point when I already witnessed it and experienced it? If I'm not going to share it with somebody else, why am I filming it rather than just like soaking it up and living in the moment? Well, as In The Image Clothing Company, anything we film and do like this that we share with others, if we share it under the name of our 5-word name, right? Our 5-word name is an episode title of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. And yes, all things that we do under In The Image Clothing Company and any of the 4 sides of us come down to our 5-word name, just so you can find all that we are. And yeah, you know, we're giving a lot of eternal, meaning just unchanging information that applies to everybody, as, you know, In The Image Clothing Company and what we do here. And then we can show things like this through it as well, and just have adventures and a good time where people can come along without actually physically being here, you know? Involve yourself, another episode title of In The Image Clothing Company podcast. This is where I was earlier, out on those rocks. But yeah, come involve yourself, you know? Involve yourself in all the events that we have, if you can and where you can. Don't come for us, right? Give us our space and leave us alone, right? In The Image Clothing Company's team. But still do come, you know, but come to just gather together and see where we are, and come, you know, to bring your dogs if it is poodle parade events you're coming for, you know. Come for this, you know, that's what I mean. So this is the state of Utah. So that's the other end of the lake, is up there, more by those mountains, which are much farther than, you know, like this other side of the lake. That's the east. This is the south end. This is like the very end. And over there, yeah, that's the other side. From this side, which is farther over to the west side than it is over to the east side from here. But then north, much farther than either of these directions from where I am to the other side of the lake. It's a big lake. Yeah, it is. So there you go. I used to come out here. I've driven my car in the lake, you know, just like, you know, right off the shore into the water about a foot. You know, been out here on boats. My grandpa had a boat. We used to come out here. One time I kind of like ruined the experience for my family because I was not comfortable and I was scared out of my wits. But I was a little kid, and so we just ended up kind of going back home. We didn't really get to have the boating experience that we were planning to because I was too scared to do it, and they didn't really have anywhere to like put me while they did it. But yeah, confessing my sins, brother. Here you are at the southern end of Utah Lake in Utah County, Utah, the United States of America. Documentation. It's just check it out, bro. Who knows? Maybe our kids or our kids' have an entirely different experience of this place because maybe there's like a bridge across it or something, you know what I mean? And then we can look back at this video like, oh wow, there's a documentation of how this place was. This is the earth, and wow, human beings change the earth a lot of the time and make things so unnatural. Also, shout out to Thanksgiving 2025 tomorrow. You know, I'm just here, bro. I'm just here as the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. Cool context though of who we really are as a company. It's a company, it's a community, right? So, all right. I don't want to cut it premature by any means, but one of those eternal videos. Oh, check this out, you know, I mean, just this is what I mean. This is really what I mean. We are as In The Image Clothing Company, brother. Is some people may never see this kind of stuff or really know what's going on with this. All of a sudden I'm freestyling. This is from a beaver, or maybe a woodchuck, probably a beaver. But yeah, this tree, it fell down because a beaver chewed on it, probably a beaver, and which is an animal. Some people don't even know what a beaver is. You know, it's probably the size of like large house cat, give or take, full grown, and they'll chew the tree like that, drop it down, and then they'll use the tree to make their houses out of sticks and tree parts, you know? Cool stuff, man. Yeah, I just love to see the earth. I love to see it. I mean, this, like I'm saying, this would just be like this whether we were here ever. It's just how it is. You know, it's just the shore of the lake. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of this was kind of sculpted, you know, to be what it is, to have a port for the boats to come in, and sure, but a lot of people don't get to see this stuff. They're inside of what we could call a concrete jungle, you know, in this man-made world, in just a city where they never get to come out here and experience just life, you know? Because this is life. You know, when Jesus Christ says he's the way, the truth, and the life, well, God was here before anything else, and then he created the earth and gave us the opportunity to have life on it, you know, by creating us. And here's this earth. This is life. This is truly what life is. This is where life inhabits. I mean, you see these things growing in the water. They are alive. This is life, you know. I mean, you see the little things swimming down there in the water. Is life, you know. You're not going to go find some life or create some life that's going to really fulfill you in, you know, some kind of like opportunistic, worldly sense, you know, by living in a city, a man-made place. Do you see what I mean? This is where it really is. I mean, I could just sit out here, like, let's say I just sit and just squat on this rock and just look out. And I mean, yeah, there's airplane noise and stuff where there is, but if there wasn't, which, you know, it is what it is, but there's also just the subtle sound of the water hitting up against the rocks, the birds, my knee crunching as I stood up out of my squat. Where is it? There it is. I think we're just too used to cutting videos short nowadays. We've got all this short form content, you know? We've got a lot of stuff where people want it instant and then they don't want it anymore. I'm here for stuff that lasts, stuff that's eternal, stuff that's real. I'm here for the truth. I'm here for God. That's loud. It's probably just a jet plane. I don't see it yet. but yeah, man. You know, so many canyons here. Where we're gonna be mostly, you know, down in southern Utah, it's red rock. It's not like this quite the same. It's only about 3.5 hours drive south from here, but you know, a lot of just more desert environment, but it's just as beautiful in its own way. It's just different. It's so cool. Utah's so diverse. It's just wonderful. Like, truly wonderful. I was saying, you know, praying as I was driving over here, like, man, there's a level of urgency to some degree. What's the urgency about, really, you know, to get over here and film this video? A lot of it was just the lighting because, well, the sun, right, is going to go down behind the mountain. And I didn't know I was going to film this video like this. I just knew I was going to film it talking about the rotated clothing and Earth's gravity. Great. But you just can't feel present. No kind of opinion, no kind of belief or something. But being present, as in being aware, being clear-minded, being here. No kind of belief on, like, do some meditation mantra thing to get you present. whatever that could even mean. It's like, no, just meaning a lot of people don't feel like they're here when they're here. How do we really get down to that? Well, we unalter the human body. If you're in rotated clothing, you don't even feel present because you're literally being pulled out of where you are. Truly, physically, legitimately rotated away from yourself. Physically. I said it, but yeah, on you is the clothing placed. Yes, it is, right? So this is the thing is, that's what I mean when I say don't believe me, don't believe in the Image Clothing Company, anything we say. Don't believe anybody, don't believe anything. And what is there that's left? There's truth. Put everything aside. Take everybody and all the man-made things and put them away. And what's left? The truth. The stuff that's happening when we're not even here. Regardless of if we're here. The little animals down here are still doing their thing. The plants are still doing their thing. The water's still doing its thing. It's, doing its water cycle. It's evaporating and condensating, precipitating, and if there's another one between there, whatever it does, it just cycles. There's dogs barking in the distance. You can hear across water for a long ways. I mean, not like that long of a ways on the other side of the lake from here, but you can go quite a distance. Well, yeah, you could hear something from over there, but you can just speak at a normal volume and it just like sails across the water. I mean, what do you want? There's an episode of In the Image Clothing Company podcast titled, "What do you want?" And I was like, I know what you want. I was like, pointing my fingers because that's what I mean is what more do you want out of life than this? You want peace and bliss? You got to go to it. We draw near to God and then he draws near to us. You come out here and take your step to get closer to God, closer to nature, closer to things as they are. And God will just manifest himself to you. He'll come to you. He'll come to you in the form of the peace you feel out here. He'll come to you with an animal coming up close to you. I saw the cat, I see these birds flying by. I'm just able to be out here with the water. This is God drawing near to me because I drew nearer to him. I left the man-made society over there. You've got all the towns over there. And there's a time and a place, for sure, for stuff like that. But we just can't lose this. But the more of that we make, this doesn't go anywhere. Not really. It can be kind of covered up, but it's still all underneath. I mean, this is the basis. This is the rock on which our foundation is built. The earth, or, Jesus Christ, which is the earth. God is. He's the creator of all things. He is all things, though. This is God out here, the thing that just does everything behind the scenes. Whether we even think about it. God's out here just having all this happen. We're trying to make something happen over in our cities or whatever, The fish are doing their things. The bugs are doing their things. The rocks are just being rocks. I mean, it just is what it is, man. This is nature. This is just what always remains. What always comes back. That's the truth. Meaning that's how you discuss who God, or the truth, really is. It's the one who always remains and always comes back. What more do you want? You gonna create something better than this? Really? I don't think so, because it won't last. And this will. So, anyway. This is what it really means to be obedient to God. Go make the video. Go. Yeah, I know you're feeling that level of urgency and you don't know exactly why. Just go. Just go do it. You'll figure it out. Now I've got this. Documentation. So, come hang out. Southern Utah, man. But, we can come up here. Or we can go wherever we go. But, there's so much. Jack Johnson, the musician, he's got a song that says something talking about, our backyard. Well, he's got a song titled Meet the Moonlight. And, he says it's waiting in your own backyard. people try to go travel the earth and go find something cool somewhere. Maybe if you can get to something that you could consider being cool, you go across the whole earth and you don't really even see it while you're there. But you had all this beauty in your backyard, let's say, and you just didn't even ever take the time to look at it. You feel like you have to go somewhere so far to see something cool. You don't. Just fall in the water. Oh, shoot. Nah, there's beauty everywhere, you know, but you have to be able to see it. That's the thing. God gives us eyes to see. As disciples of Jesus Christ, you know, when we're doing all we can to align our lives and our will with God, he gives us eyes to see. He makes, you know, previously hidden things become known. That's what I mean. Stuff that's just right here. We don't even see it. We don't even know if we're not looking at it properly. If we're not actually opening our eyes to see. Right? We're given eyes to see and ears to hear. And that's not like a redundancy, but that's like, we have these eyes so we can use them to really see. We've been given ears so we can actually really tune in to what we can hear. You know, listening for the still small voice, the Spirit of God. It's the same thing. This stuff is just, it's here. You can just walk past it and not even notice, or you look down here and you see all the little things moving in the water. You're out here and you hear all the airplane noise and it's all shore, or you listen really closely and you start to hear like bubbling up of something through the water here, and you look closely and there's something living down there that you have to be a little bit more attentive than we often are as human beings to really get all that you can out of life. It's a subtlety, it's an easiness. It's, as it's worded in Scripture, right? The still small voice of the Holy Spirit of God. So, it's so cool too, though, because I love it. You might not click on this video or watch this video however you were to get to it, you know, by just looking at the title, maybe, right? Rotated clothing in Earth's gravity. But then those who actually like look into this a little deeper, you know, you might love to see this. You might love to see me kind of like surfing on this rock. You might never have seen it, you know, if you didn't take the time to look. If you don't take the time to open up your scriptures, you're never going to know what they actually say. If you don't take the time to pray to God, you're never going to actually be able to communicate with him. It's as simple as that. It's as real as it gets, as I say. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. You never know where God's going to take you with something. With just this idea or this understanding of, okay, I know what video to go film. Well, I knew part of what this was going to be, but I didn't know. I didn't know we'd be here. Not quite like this. I mean, look down in here. Oh gosh. Oh, look at this though. I mean, this is cool too. Look at the reflection of me through the water. This is what I mean. There's all these plants and stuff. There's a mosquito, if that's a mosquito, some kind of bug. All these plants that just grow under the water right here, and we're outside of the water, and we just might not know they're even there. You know, oh my gosh. You just have to take a little bit of a look. A little bit of a deep dive of the things that are already right in front of your eyes. And then you can see what's inside. That's so sweet. Oh shoot, this one's the rickety rockety one. Shoot. I love it. Don't care who cares, because, well, there's that phrase, and I love that, actually. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I love that. Try to please other people, you're not going to ever be pleased. And you're not going to be pleasing God. Which is the point, you know. We're here to please God, not other people. And that happens through doing things that just oppose the worldly way of doing things. God's ways are higher and holier. God is perfect, and we are not. You do things to try to please the people around you, A lot of times that's opposing what God would have you do. And God's almighty. God is the person you want on your side. Always. Oh, shoot. Man, this is awesome. I feel like, I mean, we'll see what I do, you know, but if I could get this to sit on one of these rocks with that out behind me, and then I back up onto, you know, one of the other rocks, and I just film myself, you know, with that background. Without it just in my hand, you know, that's cool. Let's see. I don't know if I will, but it's a cool idea. I just don't want to try to force it to be something that seems cool just because it seems cool. You know what I mean? It's like, doesn't matter unless it matters, right? You see what I mean? The video is already cool enough. It's like, am I trying to make it cooler than it just already is? And if so, is that okay, or is it just not even necessary? This device is not waterproof, though, by any means, so... Anyway. What's up, y'all? Yeah, oh, shoot. Okay, this is the wobbly rock. Anyway. Oh, shoot, man. This is what I do, though. This is how my life looks. I just do so much alone, you know, so many solo adventures like this. I just live it up, because then you know, you're just doing things authentic to you. You don't have anybody else that you're trying to like. Sounds so prideful. It does, I know, and it is. But it can bring some good things, you know. Not having to deal with the people around you. You come out here and you just do what you want. It's just you and God. Ah, shoot. And that's the thing, is it's not a bad thing. Yeah, it can be extremely prideful, you know, depending on the real intentions behind it and why. But sometimes, you know, things are kind of on both sides. It's like, sure, it's prideful, but it's also not. You know, not wanting anybody out here besides me, because I want to just fully live this up the way that I would authentically live this up. And people like get in my way. So that's what I mean. You know, you come to events and it's like, if I'm kind of like, all right, leave me alone. It's like, don't come for me by any means. Any event under In The Image Clothing Company, don't come for the team even. I mean, just come to experience, you know, come to do what you come to do, you know, for your sake. You know, it's you and God. Man, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. That's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculously cool is what I'm saying. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things too, is there's certain things, like I was saying earlier, you only get to experience through part of the year. I mean, you can't come out here quite the same in the winter. You just can't. It'll be different. It's different in the summer. It's different in the spring. You know, during the fall, it's, well, like this right now. Oh my gosh. All right. Humbled as all get out, bro. Oh, shoot. There's no way. I mean, the information is just part of it, on allowing the body to work or letting the dog stay natural. You see what I mean? The products are just part of it, right? It's so that we can live good lives, right? Do everything clothing, In The Image Clothing Company clothing. Do everything dogs is how we breed our purebred standard poodles. You know, that's our intention on what dogs we pick to breed. Just really capable, well-rounded dogs. Do everything lifestyle is what we're trying to have as human beings, so that we can just go do everything that we could be doing, you know, that would matter and that we need to do, without feeling limited in all the ways that we have any kind of say over that. And so that's the point of In The Image Clothing Company. Allowing the body to work, sure. But what does that really mean? I don't mean go, you know, do work for somebody else to get money or something. Some kind of compensation like that. Allowing the body to physically operate is really synonymous with allowing the body to work. That's what I really mean. As the founder of In The Image Clothing Company, when I say allowing the body to work, allowing the body to walk on the side of Lincoln Beach, Utah Lake, Look at these dead fish carcasses and rock hop over the water and film a video under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company titled Rotated Clothing in Earth's Gravity. This is what it really means to be in the Image Clothing Company. Oh, shoot. Documented, bro. 2025, the day before Thanksgiving. Anyway. What more could you ask for? I mean, no amount of money is going to get you a better experience than this. No, it is not. All of a sudden, I'm like putting my foot down hardcore because where are your priorities? What do you really want out of life? What's actually fulfilling in life, you know? Serving God is cleaning up the side of the lake. Serving God is being in awe over what He's created. Serving God is being the authentic version of you, the only version of you, that you actually are, because that's who God created. This is what it means to serve God. This is what it means to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. This is what it means to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I mean, that's what's so cool about all this is I'm just walking around with a little device in my hand. And all this has happened since I clicked the record button. I mean, oh my gosh. That's the whole thing, you know, do it anyway. And make it till you make it. You know, I mean, just do it. Like, whatever it is, bro. Shout out to Nike, just because that's their slogan, the brand Nike. But that's what I mean, is just go out there and get it done. Whatever it is, you think you want to do something, what's holding you back? Probably nothing besides your own thoughts about what you think someone else is going to think about it. There's always a step in between. It's nothing to do with you. It's what you might be worried about somebody else worrying about. And then all of a sudden, oh, shoot. Is all you're saying because the time came and went. I mean, holy cow. Just live it. Just live it up. Just live it up, brother. Just have a good time. Just live your life, bro. This is what I mean, right? There's an episode of In The Image Clothing Company podcast titled Fine Wine. I said a lot of this stuff, you know, that I've done and made at the founding of In The Image Clothing Company, one day we'll look back at it like, you know, fine wine, like it's aged well. At first, maybe nobody really cared so much about it, but now, you know, now meaning whatever time it is when we're doing things that people understand better, right? Or really what I mean is when people understand better what we're really doing, what we've been doing and saying and been the same people and things and everything as In The Image Clothing Company since the founding. And so now all the founding stuff has like aged like fine wine. It's like, oh, more of an understanding to it now as time has gone on. And now you see, you know, now you see. Oh, shoot. That's what God says, you know. God spits in the dirt, rubs mud on the eyes of a blind man, and he sees clearer. Oh, shoot. That whole thing, you know, I was blind once, but now I see. A lot of times we just make some quick judgments on life. We think we know what's going on in life. We think we know what things really are. And we don't. A lot of the time. Here's a shell. I don't even think this kind of shell comes from this lake. It's like an ocean shell. I'm pretty sure. I don't. Maybe there's stuff like that lives here, but anyway, we're not really anywhere near the ocean here in Utah. I mean, not really. Pretty well landlocked. I mean, why does it matter, you know? Why does it matter if anyone cares? Stuff like this, you know, when we just debunk myths, as we do here, you know. It doesn't if nobody ever watched this, it's still a documentation. It still just is what it is. I mean, this is how stuff that... I mean, this is just... Oh, shoot. This is it, man. This is real. I've been given such a gift with this. I'm in this for life, man. If you build it, they will come. An episode title of In the Image Clothing Company podcast. You'll see. You'll all see. Just give it some time. Good things take time. I'm doing some good things here. You don't gotta believe in nothing. But truth is truth. The impact we have with this is just what it is, regardless of what anyone has to say about it. And you can't deny it. And I'm not better than you, but there's some things I know better than you. Shoot! Is he prideful or what? Yes. Now what? Now you got no fuel to use against me. Like Eminem in the movie 8 Mile. Shoot. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to God. Thank you for anyone who sticks around with this kind of stuff, you know. Thank you for your benefit, too. I mean, just being able to see this is so cool. And the wisdom I'm speaking is so cool. Yeah. That's what I mean. Prideful or not, if you know, what I'm saying matters. Who's not prideful? That's a good question, huh? Listen. Without trying to disturb the territory of whoever lives under here too much, you know? Man, up here on top of this mountain, this is what we call West Mountain. Up there, there's this like radio tower thing you can potentially see through the video. I've been up there in vehicles, right? Just driving up there. There's a road. It's not, you don't go just straight up the side of the mountain necessarily. There's a road that goes up there. Fairly nice dirt road. And it's cool. You know, who knows? Poodle parade events and in any place we decide to have them. Dude, I love poodles. I love purebred standard poodles. I love dogs. I love all that comes with that. And so you'll see. You'll see. Time. It'll take some time, brother. It'll take the amount of time it takes. And you'll see. Talking about things that haven't happened yet. Well, for now. Here's another one of those shells. I don't know. Maybe those things do live in this lake. Man. Oh, shoot. I'm personally so grateful for people who make these television shows. You know, gosh. I mean, they're out here doing similar things to what I'm doing now in places I'll never see so that I can see it. I'm doing things here that maybe other people wouldn't otherwise see. But now you can see it. Just giving information on stuff that's here that you might never be here to actually see, but you might be interested in it. That's why I call it the gift of video. Holy cow. Just a lot of advocating though, you know, and not using wood with nails in it for your fires and stuff like that, you know. Just giving information that we do on stuff that's true. Stuff that matters to me and it matters to you, you know, because we're on the same earth, dude. So, In the Image Clothing Company. We say it. We throw that company name in all the time. Certain phrases we say all the time. Spiderweb this all together. One big old thing. So you can just come find all of what we do if you're interested.
trying to make it easy, trying to make it streamlined, trying to make it, you know, what it needs to be. For the glory of God. Trying to be good people to the best of our sinful ways, you know? Oh my gosh. Trying not to cut ourselves off, you know, trying not to change who we are for anybody else's sake. These are really the things that we do as disciples of Jesus Christ. And these are the kind of experiences we get to have because of it. This is the kind of stuff that comes when you learn what it means to be in all the ways that we can, you know, as God is, you know, take it a little bit slower. You know, the last will be first. You know, I mean, check life out. Look at what's behind the scenes. Glean from things. Take the little things that were left behind by other people. And this is essentially left behind. You know, a lot of people just fly past this to never see it. And if you slow down and look at it, it's like, oh my gosh. You just find little things you never could have found anywhere else. You know, you never could have dreamt up or created anything that will fulfill you or make you feel as good as just the little subtle, simple things that God has already put there. But you got to be able to take a little bit of time and check them out and see it and slow down. We live in such a fast world, man. Because for the world to be structured the way that it is and work as well as it can work the way that it's structured, it's got to be so fast, you know? But naturally, that's what I mean, fast. So there's an airplane right above my head as I was saying that. I didn't notice until after I was saying that. Yeah, the goal is natural. The goal is natural. I might feel bad, you know, moving rocks like that. Someone's living under there. Someone, you know. There's this dichotomy, this dynamic, there's this opposition that's in all things, you know. One second I'm like this big, tough, strong man screaming at people and pointing my fingers and being all prideful. And the next second I'm like upset in ways that I stepped on a bug. Like, oh shoot, I did not mean to, right? It's like, what? Who is this guy? Oh, who is it that you say that I am? That's what Jesus Christ asks us, you know. I am only who I am, man. That's why Jesus Christ, God himself, is the great I am. He's only who he says he is. He is. He says who he is, and that's all that he is. Yikes! I get tripped up over it because it's so real. Oh my gosh. It's crazy, yeah? What more do you want? Besides just what's already here. It would be cool to be in a boat, be out on the water. That's funny. What more do you want? Besides what's already here. Yeah. Then we add stuff. That's the whole human condition, bro. It's not good enough for us, you know, just as it already is. We just want more all the time. I get it. I'm just as human as anyone else. As you can see in that real-time example. That's so funny. This is so cool, man. I mean, In The Image Clothing Company, as I've said, can always be just what it is and as much as it is without us ever having a single product to sell. It wouldn't matter if we ever had products or not. We could be just as much who we are here. Our company could be just as much the same as it is today. Oh, shoot. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous because we will have good products to sell. It's just that it's not about that. Oh my gosh. I love it. You can see the proof. What does that word even mean, right? But oh my gosh. You can see it. You watch my body physically transform from the founding date of In The Image Clothing Company till any current one. Or as close as you can get to any, you know, whatever your current date is. I'm out here just preaching what I have practiced. I'm out here just sharing the truth with the world imperfectly. It just is what it is. So don't believe me. Because then you'll know for sure. Oh my gosh. How real do you want to get? I'd like it as real as I can possibly have it. As real as God can grant to me. And that's my choice. Because I have to do the work to get closer to him, and then he'll bestow the blessings from that point. We really are the ones that decide, but really all that we're deciding is how willing are we to not do our own will and get closer to God. It's on our end. Yeah, only in that way. Is that crazy or what? So, man, this is one of those like home videos you just share with your grandkids. But that's what I mean. You know, we're huge in X amount of time from today's date, as in the Image Clothing Company. You know, across the earth in popularity and sales. Not for the sake of sales, but for the sake of spreading what we do, and then helping people's bodies with our sales. You see what I mean? Selling the products that will help the human beings and dogs' bodies. Our videos can always be just like this. Do you see what I mean? Always just as authentic as your backyard home video for your kids, you know? Oh gosh. What more do you want? I know what you want. Oh shoot. Same thing that I want. Authenticity. Don't believe me, please. Don't believe me. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. All right, well. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Yeah, I just start saying it, man. Oh, my heart's just full. And then it's broken. And then I'm all over the place. And then who is he? I thought he knew what he was doing, and all of a sudden he's crazy. What's going on? I followed a false prophet. Huh. Funny though, huh? Who is it that ye say? 1 second I'm on the freeway. The next second I'm the one that's trying to say we need to take a little bit of time today to sit back and pray. Drop down on our knees and say, please, I don't need any more than I need. And the second goes by. We're back to the highest heights at that high speed. Trying to get everything right at the release. These things we pray. Father, please save us. Yesterday, the same as today. Forever I need thee. And all the things that I need can be summed up in 3: the way you portray yourself to me. My Lord, my God, and my King. My Savior, Jesus Christ, and the one who dwells in between. The space that I only get to take part in if I part into the space in between of all the things that I could be just a little bit caught up in. See if I can see a little bit more clearly who it is walking across the seas to come and save me from me. There's a hat here. I'm gonna leave it. Someone might want it. It's synthetic. So funny. Oh shoot, talk about the dynamic. Talk about, I've had it. I'm sick of this, I'm tired and done. I'm on the run, I'm gone again. I'm on it just for a second or two and letting it loose, and then I'm reeling it back in. Check out Metronome Madness. Even that in itself is a rhyme. 40 episode series on In the Image Clothing Company music. I love that. Yikes, my feet, man. A little squished in these shoes. Ah, watch it, man. About to take my head straight off with that. The branch. Oh, shoot. Holy. So you see these tracks in the mud. The water will come all the way up to here. You know, or it'll even come up as high as it does, but Someone's walked out in that, maybe even today. Yeah, probably fishing. Kind of feels like a Sunday, but it's Wednesday. What's that? I don't know what that was. In all seriousness, this video really still is about, well, I mean, it just is what it is, but the point of making this video really is about the rotated clothing. It wasn't just like an introduction to being able to show all this, but this is just what I mean. It's just life. How real can we get, you know? Yeah, rotated clothing, that's a huge thing. So that's why I'm documenting it, right? Seriously. But just the unconventionality is so great. Yep. It's like a breath of fresh air. You know, I know personally, being on the receiving end of stuff like this, you know, you can have some kind of like high-end clothing company, you know, with their like $1 million advertisement that's like 4 seconds long in some recording studio that they, you know, sold 3 houses to pay for like 30 minutes, and then, you know, selling you some product that costs a month's salary. Or you can just, who cares? You see what I mean? That's awesome. Oh gosh, I love it. All right, so thank you. Yeah. Oh, shoot. There goes the sun. I mean, I'm kind of walking toward it as it's dropping as well, but going right behind West Mountain there. And yeah, it's just about dropped. Right over the ridge. All right, cool. Go eat some food. And tomorrow we're gonna really get together as a family, eat some food. That's what you do on Thanksgiving, bro, traditionally. So, yeah. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh shoot. Yeah, this is Lincoln Beach. Got a boat dock. There's a couple people fishing. Got a life jacket station. Wow. Take a jacket, save your life. Leave a jacket, save another. There you go. Man, there's cool stuff like that in life. You know, I love that. Things like, well, that, you know, where it just allows people to share resources. It's so cool. That's so cool, man. Man, that's cool. Yeah, see, this used to be a little bit different. You could drive your car out here. Well, I mean, it's still similar if this gate were open. And you could just drive right into the water. I mean, you go too far and you just you get your car stuck and ruin the engine. But now there's this gate right here. Man, this is what I mean, though. You just never know what you're gonna find. I don't think I'll keep it or anything, but there's just this dog leash that almost guaranteed no one's gonna come back for. It doesn't have a little buckle on the end of it, but it's kind of what I mean by sharing resources. That's what I was, yeah, pointing out with that life jacket station. It's like, yeah, one man's trash is another man's trash a lot of the time, but you know, that's why we reduce, but you can also reuse what you've recycled. Did I mention I'm a lyricist? Look at this. This is proper sand now. Just on the other side of this area. Man, talk about diversity, bro. Step down here. If it cuts, storage space or battery percentage or whatever, right? I'm gonna just roll this, unless, you know, it was obviously me cutting it, but here's the water. On this side of that little area. Ooh, yeah, this is proper sand here. Bird kind of scream. Huh. I don't know if you can tell, it's like got me thinking for some reason. I don't know, it just feels different over here. Whew, it's emotional, truly, in a very beautiful way. Well, I know that a lot of people don't have experiences like this. There's a deer track. We've got a lot of white-tailed deer here in Utah. That's what I'm saying. Well, again, exactly in the instant that I was saying that, a lot of people don't get experiences like this. A lot of people don't just come across animal tracks. You know? I mean, they're just in a place where they wouldn't have the opportunity to. And you can just hear it, you know, you can hear the countenance change in me, you know, when stuff just hits me like that, because, that's what I'm saying about don't try to please anybody with anything you do. We live in a world of so much, like, content creation. I mean, just document what you're doing, and it's cool if it's cool to whoever it's cool to. But if you're having a good time, just document yourself having a good time, because there you go. Because nothing. It doesn't even need to be a reason. Just do it, you know? Man. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll film myself walk a little bit more like this than just my face right now, because I just walked on the side of the bank of the, you know, lake here, the shore of the lake. I mean, over in here, you've got animals just living down in here where you do, you know, and oh, man. Here on the main side of In The Image Clothing Company, there's a video titled Clearing Shirt Tails with the Thumbs. And the last part of the video ended up just being me hiking out of this little Red Rock Canyon down there in St. George. Well, down there from where I am here, but where we're based, right? St. George, Utah. And it's just cool to just document this, you know? I mean, I would really enjoy it because, I mean, I've done it in the past, you know, just watching people's documented videos of them just going on a hike somewhere, just in a beautiful location. Maybe I like the person, maybe I like the environment, maybe it's a combination of both, but, you know, just because they chose to film a video, then it was available for me to see. I mean, it's the simple things in life that really are going to bring us always, you know, the most fulfillment. Shoot. It's like there's nothing else to add after that. I didn't know what